Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, let's talk about these temperatures out there. They're about 5 to 10 degrees cooler in many spots than where they were yesterday at this time because we had a cold front make its way on through the area. Now, so we take a look at what's going on with those temperatures. Yeah, as you can see, not moving much. These numbers are in the 50s across northern Utah, and that's pretty much where they're going to stay for the rest of the day. The reason being, we've got this west and northwesterly flow behind the cold front that moved through, and that is ushering in what we call cold air advection. Now, it's not a lot of it, thankfully, but it's enough that even despite the sunshine coming out, the numbers are just not going to warm up much across northern Utah. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we do have some 60s as you get down towards Castle Country and back over towards the West Desert and in the southwest Utah. Now, the winds have been calming down a little bit more after seeing some gusts this morning in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range in portions of the southern Wasatch Front. But now we're seeing those winds gusting in that 10 to 20 mile per hour range. So, again, not too bad considering where they were a little earlier today. So our big front making its way on off towards the east. I say big front really wasn't that big, but it did bring us some changes with our temperatures. Now, what's interesting is these temperatures in the 50s for highs is right where we should be for this time of the year. So it's average. The problem is the past couple of days we were seeing those temperatures in the 70s. So we are about 10 to 15 degrees cooler in many spots compared to where we have been the past couple of days. That's why it's going to be so much more noticeable as you're out and about throughout the afternoon hours. So as we look at those numbers, again, with high pressure building in, we should be seeing more in the way of sunshine and less in the way of clouds for the rest of the day. But we'll see these temperatures only in the upper 50s for highs. We'll see temperatures in the 60s as you get south of I-70. But overall, it is going to be a somewhat cooler day compared to where we have been. And we're going to stick with the same weather pattern as we go into your Friday. So don't expect much change. I think highs back in the upper 50s to low 60s. And then we'll see those temperatures in the low 70s. But you got to get all the way down into Washington County before you come into those 70s. Now, also notice we'll have a few more clouds coming back, especially across northern Utah as we go into the afternoon hours. And that's because we're tracking another cold front. Let's take a look at it on Futurecast here with that high pressure. Again, no fronts out there today. We'll just have that sunshine returning. Clear skies tonight turn into partly to mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow morning. So you'll wake up to some more clouds building back in. That's ahead of that next front that's going to come knocking on the door. But it comes through without a lot of fanfare. In fact, the only thing we're really going to be watching is that chance of a spotty shower or two up across far northern Utah. We're talking north than where we saw this morning. So we're talking places north of the Ogden Valley. As you get into Cache Valley, really, that's about the only chance switching over into southwest Wyoming. Otherwise, high pressure, it's a big ridge of high pressure that goes all the way up into Canada and back down. We are surrounded by a whole lot of sinking air, and that just basically means sunshine for the weekend. So your weekend outlook, that's the story. A great weekend if you want to get out there with the rake and kind of clear some of those leaves out of the yard. Temperatures will be in the 50s for highs along the Wasatch Front, with lows in the 30s. Will be in the low to mid 70s for highs for the weekend down south, with lows in the 40s out there. Heading into next week, though, yeah, we're going to be seeing a pattern flip again. Another ridge of high pressure builds in, pumping in that southerly flow, and that's going to mean above average temperatures, I think, for us for most of next week. So while it will be chilly for the rest of this week, heading into the weekend, we're going to jump above average again by the time we head into next week as a big cold plunge of air actually makes its way into the eastern half of the country. We wish we could see that, but we're not going to see that. So that means for some of our ski resorts here that are gearing up for opening day, yeah, I wished I had some better news, but places like Bryan Head planning on opening on Friday, same story around Solitude. Right now it's looking warm and definitely not wintry out there. So hopefully those snowmaking machines can do some good work despite the warm temperatures. But I am seeing signs of a pattern change after we get just beyond that period starting next weekend, followed by the following week. So the second half of the month looks like we're going to get into a more active, wetter, and maybe stormier pattern, which could lead to maybe colder pattern as well. So we'll watch that. But again, that's a little ways away. St. George, 70s for highs over the next 7 days with a lot of sunshine. The Wasatch Front, we've got temperatures in the 50s into the weekend, and then we get back into the 60s heading into next week. And listen,